Are usually a passion for car enthusiasts like girls and me, and lots of other things too. But what happens when the car gets cursed? Well, you don't even know it when it really happens. This is the list of every cursed car that has taken the lives of many people and did lots of strange things. Starting off with the first car is James Dean's 550 Spider. If you don't know the infamous crash of James Dean, this was the car that started it all. Remember the death of Paul Walker that happened in 2013? Well, there was another incident that took place in 1955, and this car was called James Dean's 550 Spider, infamously nicknamed Little Bastard. The little bastard Porsche that took out James Dean for a drive happens to be, well, cursed. The car is said to have rumored to have injured and killed many drivers who attempted to steal the car's parts, but only to end up getting into a bad luck. So the influences behind one single car wasn't just the fact that James Dean was killed in. In fact, this single car influences many bad luck to other drivers who have used it, even mechanics who tried to work on the car. The next cursed car is Renault Megane of Cape Town. If you guys don't know the mystery behind the jumping car, it obviously started like this. 2004, South African town called Cape Town, where a family was just having a cold night off. Suddenly they woken up during the middle of the night and heard a roaring sound coming from outside, and the next thing they noticed, a jumping Renault Megane started to move around on its own. Nobody has ever seen the driver inside the car. In fact, the inside of the car was still and quiet. No one has ever went near the car. No one had the keys inside. So this could likely be the strangest thing that ever happened on camera. In fact, no one has ever witnessed it until they did. The next one is the Black Volga. If you guys don't know the Black Volga myth, there is basically this myth where people have been mysteriously disappearing due to a strange black car roaming around the neighborhood. It seems to be based on the USSR Soviet nation, where people were terrorized by the myth of the Black Volga. Many people heard the myth that the Black Volga could be driven by something or someone. Some say it would be priests, politicians, nuns. Other people said it was the devil himself. No one has ever understood what the real myth of the Volga was, but people say that it was some sort of demon driving the car. Coming up next was the A3 highway ghost crash. If you guys don't know this before, on 2002, the London police started to get phone call after a phone call and then to the next phone call about a pair of headlights running off the A3 highway so late at night. It was such a foggy night that the driver ended up losing control and rolling his car down into a ditch. No one has ever believed what had happened, but when they got to the accident scene, they found out there was nothing there. In fact, the only crucial things that were there was one, a car rolled into a ditch, and the other was a dead body. So what happened next was, it happens to be the fact that the ghostly crash took place 5 months. So whose people probably believe that they ever seen this car before? Now this is one heck of a story. Bonnie and Clyde's 1934 Ford Deluxe. If you guys don't know the story of Bonnie and Clyde, you basically know what happened. During the or should I say early 1930s, United States and America, Bonnie and Clyde were the most notorious criminals in history, known for robbing banks and homicidal murders on police officers. The two great outlaws drove around in a stolen 1934 Ford sedan. Their current state would obviously be this. They were shot dead in the car. 129 bullets blasted into the vehicle, killing them inside. And what happens next? No one really knows the story, but some say the car remained exactly how it was, burned up with bullet holes all over the body. Some people even say that they saw someone moving in the background of the pictures when they went near the car. Now, this is a story that led up to one of the most strangest of things, John F. Kennedy's limousine. If you guys don't know John F. Kennedy, his death was supposed to be around 1963 when that happened. He was assassinated on television, and strangely enough, the car was, well, technically still around after his untimely passing. It is unknown how he exactly died in the car, but it could be likely that he was assassinated for absolutely no good reason. Next up is the London Ghost Bus. On 1934, a man was driving around calmly when he suddenly slammed right hard into a wall by something huge, something big. It was a big red double-decker bus that appeared out of nowhere. People obviously noticed that when they glanced back, they saw nothing was there. So, what exactly caused this incident? Well, nobody knows the story, but some people say that it was caused by some kind of ghostly bus that appeared every night on 1:15 in the morning. Now, this is the next one that is going to be the scariest of them all. 1964 Dodge Polara. If you guys don't know the Dodge Polara used to be a police car in Old Orchard Beach, Maine. When suddenly, all three officers who were using the car at the time suddenly got killed and murdered their families after their service along with the car. Many people has believed that the devil had something to do with this. So what did people do? Well, this thing that they would do with this car is one thing. The Old Orchard Beach community decided to strip the car to pieces. But what happens next? They died in gruesome ways. One was hit by a truck, a third was struck by lightning, and then a second one died in a house fire. For some strange reasons, all 29 victims who were linked to the car's vandalizing must have caused both of their untimely deaths, and it seems like the devil had something to do with this car and must have targeted all the victims who were the ones responsible for ripping the car to pieces. This is the next one that you should probably watch out for. In Malaysia, there is a rumor of a strange yellow car that appears on Kerak Highway every late at night. The legend has it that a strange yellow Volkswagen Beetle appears out of nowhere, terrorizing motorists if they dare try to overtake it. Rumors say that the ghostly yellow Volkswagen Beetle would suddenly creep up behind your rearview mirror and teleport right back in front of you every time you overtake it. The rumors say that if you overtake the yellow Volkswagen Beetle, it would suddenly force you to go off the road and crash. No one has ever heard of this myth before, but Malaysians, they pretty much know this legend. Legend has it that a racist man once drove way too fast in this vehicle, but it should be the most unexpected death that I would ever experience. In fact, what's so unexpected about this yellow car is that no one even knows the real backstory behind this. Some say it was just an urban legend. Some say that it was real. Up next is Satan Sedan. If you guys don't know Satan Sedan, it's basically an urban legend on Route 666, also known as Devil's Highway or Highway to Hell. So, the Devil's Car, it's some kind of, black car that appears out of nowhere, terrorizing and stalking drivers and forcing them off the road in deadly accidents. So, Satan Sedan, it's basically like this strange black car with red windows, with bright headlights. I obviously don't understand what would they say about this legend, but I think it's quite real. Or should I say fake, because no one ever believes in such a strange history about a strange satanic car. Now, this is the car that you might be considered not wanting to drive or wanting to own. Ford LTD Pinto. The Ford Pinto. How do you even say that this car was even cursed? Well, it's cursed for one good reason. It was a lemon car. If you guys don't know what a lemon car is, lemon car actually means useless or crappy junkyard car that refuses to do anything right. So this car would intentionally break down multiple times no matter how many times you would fix it. So I'm guessing that you should not ever drive this car, because I don't think that you should drive this car, because unless you want to own it or want it, then you might be in for bad luck, because this car is unreliable and unrepairable. Now, this is the freakiest vehicle that I do not want to be on right now, or I risk to ride one. Vampire Motorcycle. If you guys don't know Vampire Motorcycle, it's obviously a horror classic. It basically deals with a demonic motorcycle possessed by some sort of ghost or some kind of evil spirit that took the form of a motorbike, and well, it sucks blood because it's a vampire motorcycle. Not usually one of the scariest, but definitely the most nastiest looking things that I ever seen. Definitely a cursed car. I don't think it is, but I think it is cursed because it is a vampire motorbike. Now, this is gonna be one of the most craziest things that you ever seen in your entire life. The Le Mans disaster. If you guys don't know the Le Mans disaster, it's one of the world's worst crashes that ever has happened in racing history. Driver Lance Macklin was suddenly thrown into the crowd, killing tons of people. Although most people consider this one of the craziest and most dangerous things that has ever happened in real life. Well, in NASCAR, you won't have to worry about a whole damn thing. Unless, of course, you were considered lucky at that time, or you could have just seen it all on TV. Nothing really ever happened. In fact, the Le Mans disaster, I think it was one of the biggest things that you would ever imagine to fear the worst.